story number one. Ready for it?
Let's do it.
All right. Disney's TV approach sucks. It's been a while. We've been working with it. We talked about the commercialization, the Easter egg TV, how many episodes should it be? Is it too short? Is it too long? They've been experimenting and trying out things. But just recently, they restarted Daredevil. They went and looked at what the writers were doing, what they had prepared, and how it was going so far. And they said, you know what? We're going back to the drawing board. We might have to admit that some of this is a little busted.
Trash.
Yeah. So Theo, what happened? What happened with Daredevil? How did it get kicked off?
Oh, Mr. Benja, man. It from what we read, right? I think it says that they actually filmed a couple of episodes already prior to the strikes. And remember, this is going to be a big one. It's not going to be one of those little small one-off limited series like Hawkeye or even Loki with 8 episodes, 6 episodes. This is going to be 18 episodes of TV, right? So they created it. I guess Kevin Feige looked at what he had and he realized the old way of doing things is no longer going to work, man. We can't film this like a 18-hour movie. Because I think that was their impression that they could just wing it, create a storyline. And it does seem like a lot of this approach is no longer working. And the traditional way of doing TV where you have A, B, C, D storylines, like coalesce at the end, it all makes
Yeah.
sense. Yeah, that's something that I think Marvel's going back to the drawing board with Daredevil. And I think to be honest with you, now that I think about it, the 18 episode order, I think that's what probably made them reconsider a lot of things, at least with Daredevil.
Yeah.
Hopefully that would start them doing other stuff. But I think because that length of, because they look, let's be honest, they got the original cast pretty much, right? Daredevil
Yeah.
King came back. So they don't want to squander this because there was already some goodwill with the original TV show that Marvel put out there on Netflix. So it's
Which even survived the Hawkeye treatment to some extent and the She-Hulk treatment, which is
exactly
where we saw some of these characters reappear.
to She-Hulk. Yep. Yeah. Was Kingpin in She-Hulk or was he in something
He was
else?
Kingpin was in
He
Hawkeye,
was, he was in
the
Hawkeye too.
Hawkeye
Okay,
series.
perfect. Yeah, yeah. But it was sketchy.
Exactly. We had 2 chances to introduce
Definitely.
these characters, and the reception wasn't that good. So, going into this, I think they may have had a little more care about it. We're like, "Guys, we're about to squander all of this goodwill that's already existing." I don't wanna say they built it up because it was existing back from Netflix, and people still rock with it. And now it's, "Okay, let's not take this all the way because this sucks."
So we were. Yeah, man, it's interesting. Yeah, Loki's out now. I saw the first episode. I think you saw ahead of it. Me and Mr. Bridges at 2 episodes. Like I mentioned last time, it did feel like a little like homework. I don't know. How are you feeling about Loki? So take a step back. What, last year, 2 years ago, man, we were so hyped for these Marvel TV shows.
Yeah.
Remember,
Mhm.
WandaVision came out. We were like, oh, I was waking up at 3 in the morning. It's like, oh, I got to watch this, man. And
Yeah,
we
yeah.
were like, what are they going to do next? And then Loki came out, blew our mind. And we're just like, man, but it's just like, I think the high came with Loki and it's just been steadily. Loki, has moments. I had some moments that were slow, but ultimately it felt like fulfilling. But this just feels like homework to me. I don't know, Mr. Benja. How are you?
It
Like,
it almost sounded like you said it felt fulfilling, but it was just like you meant it was filler. It's just
yeah.
fluff, right?
So
That's what
no, the original Loki was fulfilling, right? It
oh,
was
it
like,
was okay.
hey, yes, because of the Ganja majors of it all, which is a whole nother thing now. But he who remains, right? That was
Yeah,
pretty interesting, and how they got to that point. But that was the best, yeah, ending almost of all the Marvel endings, TV
yeah.
show endings. But like I said, I just think that where you at now, you're watching the second season. How are you liking it?
So, I think they're doing the exact opposite of what I mentioned in the show intro and, our banter talk. I think they're doing the opposite of that anime jump in, hit them hard kinda thing, where they're trying to build up the characters and take their time with things. It's, "Hey, look, man, I got limited time. I got 8 episodes, 6 episodes. I gotta jump in. I gotta hit the ground running. Don't come with any weak sauce." I was about to curse there. Don't come with any weak sauce." And that's what they think they can do. They think "Oh, we'll just treat it softly. We'll come in with a little bit of intrigue, see what the people say on the forums." No, you gotta give them the manga treatment. And once again, and this may be the thing with manga and anime, there is no connection with any other manga and anime from series to series. Dragon Ball Z might be the only long running connection where it's, yeah, we're gonna take these characters and have Dragon Ball Super, Dragon Ball GT, and these characters are just in a slightly different form where we recreate a series. But with this Marvel stuff, nah, man, I think you got to come in and be like, listen, this character could die, this thing could happen, this badness is going on, and you got to hit them hard. None of this, let's sit around and twiddle our thumbs. For 18 episodes? You talking with Daredevil coming off with 18 episodes and you don't see him in his suit for the first four? Get out.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh,
Get
no.
out of here with that.
I
Get
didn't
out of
know
here.
that. Oh, no. Kevin Feige out there, he said, "Oh," but let's be honest. I think it came down high that these TV shows were not gonna do anything revealing
Mhm.
because they wanted to save it for the what? The movies, right? So they will put some little Easter eggs in there to prep you for Hawkeye, for instance.
Yes.
They introduced some characters, and we knew they were gonna show up in Black Widow.
Yeah.
So it's is that compelling, or is that just a trailer?
Yeah.
Yeah, you just watched the 18-hour trailer. I think that model is dead now, Marvel. And then him to Kevin Feige's favor, I think he's realizing that, and hopefully the strike had gave him time to really think through and map out how they're gonna right this ship, because I think a lot of folks are just feeling exhausted.
That's a good point. When you're in the thick of something and everything's moving, it's hard to change a tire while you're on the highway driving.
Um,
So you got to pull over to a gas station, stop, open the map, get some Twizzlers and Funyuns from the store, talk
yeah.
about where you're going. So yeah, I hope for the best. And I just got back on Disney Plus, so I'm starting into The Mandalorian season 3. It's interesting, but once again, man, it just didn't hit me. I, do I have to write it? Do I have to do a video essay on this? I don't want to become a video essay guy. Anyway,
You
but
should. It
you're
deserves
up
it.
you're up to date on Ahsoka. How you feeling about that?
Yeah, this is outside MCU, but this is all the Disney TV show brands. I feel the same way. I think Ashoka had moments like I didn't know any of this stuff, right? Because I didn't watch Clone Wars, I didn't watch Rebels. I literally had to fast forward to watch Rebels to get caught up on Ashoka. So that's homework, number one. But it was good homework.
Homework.
I think yeah, you and my buddy Dr. Chris, maybe we'll get Dr. Chris on here one day. Dr. Chris told me about Rebels. It was good. And for what I saw, it was good. for the, the
Yeah.
fast forward 8 episodes I saw, that was some good shit. That's man, I'm getting emotional. I only saw 8 episodes. But anyway, so yeah, it was pretty good, man. I went to Ashoka high hopes, like I'm sure all the Rebels and the Clone War fans were. But man, it just seems like this is a lot, man. It's very niche. They got whales in space for Star Wars, and it's just okay. So if I came in here, all I saw was Star Wars, right? I'm watching Ashoka. I would have lost my mind. I'm like, what? And then the whole scene, not to spoil too much into this, they just had a lot of stuff in there. She fell into this dimension, this black dimension with that had these different portals, and she met
Yeah.
Anakin. If you don't know what that's about, I luckily, thanks to you, Dr. Chris, I knew about. You were just like, huh? And then she survived, and then what? So it was a lot of stuff you had to know. And even then, it still wasn't compelling because they did a lot of dorking around, man, Mr. Benja. And then it didn't even end properly. But you got the characters together and it just sat there like a wet fart. It was just like, okay, we're together. We'll continue the story another time. Wait a minute. So I spent 8 hours of my time talking about a story that I may or may not care about, and then they didn't conclude it in some kind of satisfying way. At least the bad guys defeated, or the good guys were here. They started here, and guess what? At the end of the show, guess where they were at? Right here. The bad guys were here, and guess where they ended the story? Right here. So there was no movement into the characters or the plot that was compelling enough. There was some
Exactly.
movement, but it was very small. They could have done
Well,
it in one episode.
one of my tenets with any creative work is no matter how well constructed it is and what you've gone through and what you've shown, you have to be able to have that headline statement of when you pick it up and say, "Hey, should should I look into this or what's this about?" You're like, "Oh yeah, that's the story of blah. This is what happens in this." And it can come down to a one sentence thing where you talk about Empire Strikes Back. It's what happened there. Oh, yeah, that was the one where this happened. What happened in this? Oh, yeah, that's the one where this happened. And you have to very quickly be able to say, oh, yeah, that's the show where this happened. That's the show where this happened. This is the one where Matrix, where Neo got his powers, talking about the Matrix. This is the one where this happened. Everything's got to have a that is, this is that. And if it's just like everything is the same at the end of it all, that's a very dangerous place to be in. Not saying it's impossible. 007 does that kind of where everything is the same, but that's a whole different vibe, and
Well,
it's
is
not
it the
what we
same? He's always facing a new villain, got a new
Mhm.
girl, new settings. We know he's got a template that he follows,
Yes,
right? You got to do
yes.
these 8 things
Mhm.
in the Bond movies. You have a hot
Yeah,
car, hot babe, bad villain,
yeah.
save the world. But
It and that's the where we get with the, "Oh, that's the one where he goes to the moon." Okay. That's the one where he gets that's the one with the golden
and
gun.
that was awesome. If you
Okay.
haven't seen Moonraker, go see that just to get your chuckle on, man. That is the
Yeah.
best one ever. Moonraker. But anyway, I digress.
Yeah, where every one you look back and say, "Oh, that's the one where they do this," or, Nightmare on Elm Street. It's October, let's talk about, "Oh, that's the one where Freddy turns into a snake," and it's gotta be the one
And
where
you're right. They
it
don't
can't
have
be it can't be the one where, like, remember those goofy space whales? Yeah, yeah, that was weird. That was dumb. You know, I mean, that's
well, it's almost like it was a continuation of Rebels, which I get. They should just call it Rebels season 4. Just be real with it. That's what it was. Or season
5,
was it
yeah,
season 4? 5. They should
yeah.
just call it Rebels season 5. And that would have been fine. Just a live action Rebels season 5. Because that's what it was. And so anyway, Mr. Benja, we'll digress a little bit more, but I think the TV and then the fact that these things cost so much money and they're not compelling enough, that shows you that creativity and money maybe don't get along too well. That's it. Doesn't seem like they spent all this money and these shows are not that compelling. They're
That's
spending money,
yeah,
big budget. They create a whole technology, the volume to make
yeah.
these images look compelling and get on time for a TV show. And The Mandalorian season 2 was amazing. And when we saw that, what they could do with the technology and then how they elevated it to Ashoka and some other stuff, but the story is just not compelling enough. So anyway, I digress, but it does seem we'll revisit. But hopefully Marvel, hopefully Star Wars TV shows at least can get back on track.
Somebody at Disney needs to have a desk clearing moment, and what I mean by that is, anytime you watch a TV show, and I've seen it actually happen in real life, which is funny, where someone's so angry, they walk up to a desk and just wipe everything off the desk, and it goes flying on the floor. If you've never seen it, it's horrifying, funny, and intense at the same time, but a desk clearing moment. Damn it!
You saw that? That's a live action cliche, boy. I love it. I gotta see more. I love live action cliches. I love it. When someone does a spit take, that's a live action cliche. I love
Yeah.
it. Let's do it.